And I just don't
Yes.
trust anything from BookTok.
Yeah, you really shouldn't.
BookTok was
Except,
like the 11th
yeah.
plague that God used to smite the Egyptians with. The Pharaoh's
Yep.
son died. The Pharaoh's firstborn son died, and the Pharaoh was like, ah, damn. And he
Yep.
almost gave in. He almost gave the Israelites, oh, he almost let them go. But then he like was gonna try to read a good book to cope from his like son's death. He sat
Yep.
down with a really good papyrus scroll, started losing himself in the world, and then God was like, actually, no, we need Book Talk to to make every single book recommendation bad.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
Pharaoh let the Israelites go. And then the Israelites only proceeded to do good things from then on to this point in time.
Yes, I mean, of
Yes.
course. Like every single thing, every decision, it's just always good and never disastrous or genocidal.
Yeah.
It's never
Never
a bad
anything
thing.
that like crosses international law.
Yeah,
Never
it's
using any
yep.
specific group as a scapegoat to then terrorize a much larger group
Yeah,
that's sort of insular from that first group.
exactly. It's just all good things. It's all
Like,
just hummus. It's just
yeah.
hummus and yeah.
I mean, can you imagine if, like, I don't know, Canada had an issue with the KKK, so then they bombed like New York? I don't know.
Oh no,
That would be
I
justified
mean,
though. They are in the same country.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly,
I heard
okay.
one KKK member went to the Twin Towers, and Canada was like, it's worth it.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Okay.
speaking of bad books, I want to make a
Yeah.
video about this eventually. You can't see it because apparently my camera's not working. But it's
Yeah.
called God and Cancel Culture.
Oh, okay.
Exactly, and it's exactly what it says on the cover. It's about God and cancel culture. But
But like,
one of my favorite,
is it like I'm sorry, but is it like a right-wing thing
very right
or
wing. I bought
okay,
it for
okay.
99 cents
Oh, okay, okay.
because I didn't want to give
Yeah.
the author like too much support, but also I just had to own it
Yeah.
because
Right.
I'm right wing now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's a good investment, but the thing is like I can just imagine what they're saying in that book like uh our people are crucified on the internet just like Christ was
Truly,
and
they are
you
like
know
there was a segment where he was like, my videos are being blacklisted by YouTube, and that's just one step away from the Nazis burning books.
oh my God, dude,
Amazon
no.
didn't let me sell my books. You know who else wouldn't have let me sell my books? That's right.
Hmm. Okay, as a Polish person, I get so infuriated whenever Americans, because it's obviously mostly Americans, try to, justify their own bullshit by saying that it's okay because the Nazis would burn it. No, like, no.
Yeah, I mean, like, the
Oh.
Nazis oppressed people, and I sort of feel oppressed, so therefore, the Dems are Nazis?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if Jesus Christ.
You don't
Uh,
seem to be getting it. You don't really seem to be understanding
yeah.
the, like, uh, the, the value that they provide that is then being stripped away that we so desperately need to hear. I can't find the passage exactly, but it was, its opinions such as 9/11 was a test from God that we all failed, that
Oh
we really need
no.
to start taking more seriously.
Oh no. Actually, okay, I listened to this podcast, which is really good. I recommend it. It's Behind the Bastards,
Another
and
good
they had
podcast to recommend is this podcast, actually.
y yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like this one is the best, but
But
the
Behind the
Behind the Bastards
Bastards.
one is like, it's like it's second best. Um, but yeah, they were talking about the Vlad the Impaler, the guy who inspired Dracula,
Mhm.
and how because he was like protecting quote unquote Europe from Muslim influences, he is now deemed like a, I guess, a savior that is, someone who the right-wing people are like looking towards. I don't fucking
You,
know. But the thing is, like, he didn't save Europe from Muslim influences because he hated them. It's just because he was like really cool with the Sultan, and he was just buddies with him at some point. And he actually apparently changed his religion a few times, even for like to be a Muslim for a period. So it's like it's just yeah, they there's so many things that they get so wrong
I
about
mean,
history.
would you believe me if I told you that people who famously hate the dissemination of information and kind of just reach a conclusion, then work backwards from there, might get lots of historical facts wrong?
Yeah, I mean it's not really a surprise. It's just every time I
But it's
hear about
important.
it,
It's
it's just
important, and I love it,
yeah,
and I am part of that group.
yeah. That's awesome for you.
Thank you, thank you. It's made me very blindly happy, but also rageful. I
Right.
I don't question why my favorite president's first motto was "Make America Great Again," and then his second motto, as he re-ran, was "Keep America Great." But then
Right.
that's under the assumption that America's great now. Yet I also complain about Joe Biden and how he's ruining our country like a lot.
Yeah.
I
And
don't think too much about that.
yeah, honestly, just save your psyche. Just save yourself.
Oh,
Don't
but
think about it too much.
let's get back to the court of thrones and roses,
Thorns and roses, yes.
thorns and roses.
Yeah, so there's a few issues I have immediately with this book. First of all, there's a bunch of names here that are very like, fantasy book names,
I
which
hate foreign names. Oh, don't get me
no,
started.
it's not about foreign names. I mean,
If
I
your
guess
protagonist isn't
every
called John Smith
oh my
or
God, okay.
Madeline, Wisconsin, I will throw a fit.
Okay, that's not the that's not the issue I have. The issue I have is, whenever I read fantasy books, I'm like, and they went to blah blah blah, or like because I read them in my head, I don't have to speak them, right?
Mhm.
So for the names of the characters, I have a very internalized pronunciation, which apparently is wrong because okay, so the main characters of this first book our our protagonist is called the official spelling is Feira or Feira. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Are you reading the book in
and
English or in Polish?
yes, it's in English. So
Yeah, that's always the
I
tough part
okay,
because like English borrows from so many languages. So then when it comes to
yeah,
names, you're just sort of like, I don't, I don't fucking know.
yeah, but it's spelled like fair, like fair, like kind of like that. So that's how I was reading it, right? And the hot main love interest for the first book is Tamlin, which is just how it's spelled. Like, yeah, that's fine. But also, like, there's an enemies to lovers kind of vibe here, twice. And
That's the
the
liberal
second,
propaganda. I would never allow interracial
yeah,
marriage.
I know, right? Uh, oh, there's a lot. Okay, we're gonna get into it,
There's a
but
lot of
uh,
interracial marriage in Court of
not
Thorns and
inter. I
Roses.
mean, do you consider Fae interracial?
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
Fae
I
and
guess
human?
interspecies, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my other issue with this book is that there is a concept of marriage in okay, I'm not even explaining anything. Let me just start from the beginning because yeah. And that's my issues start, from the beginning, but you don't know anything about it. So okay, so I'm just gonna read this or like talk you through the synopsis, but and I'm using the Akotar wiki for this because I don't remember everything. But basically, okay, so we have our protagonist Feyre or Fair, I don't know. She's 19, obviously, and she lives in a dark forest
19
with
is really
her.
that like older people could fantasize about being young and younger people can fantasize about being old. Truly is just like that's appeal to a
Yeah,
mass audience type of thing.
yeah, but also it's like I can do whatever I want with the super young character, but it's also legal. But also it's a fantasy world where she meets someone who's 500 years old and they can do the dirty
Yeah,
without me
barely
feeling guilty
legal
about it.
teen gets pounded by grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so our 19-year-old protagonist, she lives in the woods with her super stupid family. She has two sisters who don't give a shit about her. One is a bitch, and the other one is just kind of stupid and doesn't do anything. And she also lives with her father, who's like handicapped physically. Like he has a bad leg and shit.
Mhm.
He can't walk apparently. And they used to be
Sounds like a skill
rich.
issue, but all right.
Yeah, I
Does
know, right?
is he asking for government handouts throughout
Oh
the
my
book?
god. Jesus. No. But I guess no. Honestly, I think he would be too proud because they
My
used
type
to
of
be
man.
rich.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because they used to be rich, but because of some issues, like he used to be a merchant, but there's some fucking issues with the mafia or whatever, and they stole everything from him and beat him up so bad that he has a bad leg now,
Mm. Took it like a
right?
champ,
And
though.
he
Yeah.
yeah, and they don't have any money, and she has to go and hunt in the woods for food, right? So
So Katniss
one day,
Everdeen.
basically, yeah, this is so Katniss Everdeen. Also, the first book is loosely based on A Beauty and a Beast.
Okay.
And honestly, I like that aspect of it. I think it's cool. I like fairy tale retellings. I think it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Um,
The spinning silver and I believe on Earth or something by. Let me just get the books.
okay, I don't know these books. One series that is based on fairy tales, but in the future with cyborgs and stuff is the Lunar Chronicles, which is awesome. I love it so much. It's such a good series. I recommend it.
The
It's
Lunar
very cute.
Chronicles.
The Lunar Chronicles, yeah. It's yeah, the first one is Cinder, which is a retelling of Cinderella, but Cinderella is a cyborg. It's very
I
nice.
fuck with it.
Yeah, it's super. It's a like it's not for like adults, for like I guess young adults, but there's no like smut in it. But the
I
chemistry
don't fuck with it
between
anymore. Then
but the chemistry is so good between the characters. Like it's almost like for my teen brain that was enough, I guess. Um, but yeah, did you find the books?
yeah, they're called Uprooted and Spinning Silver. They're based on like the classic tales of
Grim?
yeah, like
Brothers Grim?
Rumpelstiltskin,
Right.
a little bit of Sleeping Beauty.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Sounds good.
and they're better than I assume Court of Thrones and Roses is.
Yeah, probably.
All right, but she
um,
hunts. It's Beauty and the Beast.
yes.
Her dad has hurt his leg, but he's not a damn lib who's going to ask for a government handout.
Yeah, exactly. So, one
Also,
day
we have
she
like
goes.
7 more minutes before I need to start getting ready for like my day.
Oh, actually, oh no, fuck. Well,
We could do
okay,
a part two.
yeah, let's do a
Yeah,
part two. But okay, so fuck. I can't tell you everything about this. Okay,
just
let's
tease me
just
with
go
it.
through the first book.
Yeah.
The first book is actually solid. It's good. So she kills a wolf,
Hmm.
and she goes to it's like a huge wolf, right? She skins it. She takes the skin to sell it, but there's a like a fey hunter. She goes to sell the fucking skin, whatever. And
To the Fae?
no, to another human,
Oh, okay.
um, who is like a hunter for fairies. And right, okay, whatever. And then at some point, it turns out that this wolf was a fae that she killed because they can shapeshift, right?
If I
And
was a Fae who could shapeshift, that
yeah,
happens to be a wolf, and I noticed
hmm
that someone was actively trying to hunt me for my flesh, I think I would just turn back into a Fae.
I know, right? You're already like deconstructing the novel
As soon as I heard
because
it was from Book Talk, I was like, I will make fun of everything I possibly can.
yeah, honestly, you're already this like you're getting so close to why this happens.
Okay.
But anyway, the another beast turns up at their house and captures Feyre and brings her
I
to
also love that the
uh
main characters, like there are Fae in the novel, and also the main human character's name is
yes, oh
like,
my god, it's fucking infuriating and nobody points it out. Like nobody points it out.
maybe if like if Ripley's name in Alien was like Alien Netta,
Right.
and like no one even makes one joke of like kind of thematically appropriate, right?
Yeah, I feel like that would add a little bit of like humor into this book or like banter. But there like almost there isn't.
There is a risk
Unless it's
also of
with
like
the
going too far in the other direction, where like I like Brandon
yeah,
Sanderson enough, but there's a lot of times where he makes a pun in English. And I'm just like, are these
right,
characters on an alien world who practice magic and have different quarters? Are they speaking English? Because this pun only works in English. So please, Mr.
right.
Sanderson, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would make the book too self-aware.
Hmm.
But at the same time, don't name her fucking Fair.
Yeah,
Like,
but
just
she gets
name her
kidnapped.
Lucy. Yeah, she gets kidnapped, and basically this is Beauty and the Beast, right? She gets kidnapped and put into this beautiful uh spring court,
She gets kidnapped by
which
this
is
old hot stud.
yeah, Tamlin, who's like this blonde dude, and he's like the ruler of the spring court. And there's eternal spring in there, you know.
Hmm.
And yeah, a lot of go things go on. Right. She
As
is
you would
super
hope
mad at
from
him.
a book,
Yeah.
from a news story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touche. Um, yeah. He also has a sidekick named Lucien, who is like a from another court, but he's not wanted there. Um, yeah. So, do you want to know some spice stuff
I always want to know some
from this
spicy
book?
stuff.
Okay. So there's this thing that happens in the spring where the High Lord of the court has to, like, spring court, for some reason only spring court, I don't know, has to mate with a woman, right? Um,
Yeah.
to sow the seeds for the fucking new year or whatever.
As is their wifely duties, yes.
Yeah. And oh my God, I really okay. So this dude, the Tamlin, tells Feyre to stay in her room and like do not leave the room, right? But she's like, oh my god, but there's a party going on. I want to go.
Yeah.
And she just goes, right? And
Wow, disobeying
he
the direct
just,
order of a male figure in her life.
yeah,
This is
she,
liberal agenda.
yeah, exactly. And she goes and almost gets fucking gang raped by some like
Oh wow.
they that look like I don't know, lizards or something.
I don't understand why
Um,
all of these like there's a romance plot, and for some of these scenes, your hands are definitely going to be down your pants. Anyway, someone
yeah,
does get raped or almost raped.
no, she just gets like almost like they just approach her like and try to be nasty to her, but no. And because there's a Rysand, which is another character who's like the dark dude, you know. And
Yeah,
okay, the
I'm
thing
definitely
is,
scared of Rysand.
yeah, the thing is, I know that his official pronunciation of the name is Rysand,
That's barely
but
better.
it's even worse. Like and she calls him Reese sometimes, which is fucking annoying because it's spelled with a Y instead of two E's, right?
So R
So this
Y
is not
C E.
it's like Rhysand.
It's not a very scary name.
Uh, I mean that looks good to me. It's a good name to me as long as it's pronounced Rysand, not fucking recent or recent. Like recent, can you can you come here and do whatever? Like, no, this is not Malcolm in the Middle, you know? We don't need a Reese. We
we need
need
a
someone
we need a
who's,
Stalnar or a
yeah, maybe.
Goldpatrox or
Yeah, that would be better, honestly.
yeah. I
So
do
Reese,
have to get going. I've got stuff going on that I
fuck.
haven't eaten yet. But we'll do it. We'll do a part
Okay.
two next. And by now this week, like next week, the April 27th.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I hope I can make it. But we're gonna get to the worst things later, so it's probably gonna be more
It-
contentful.
this was the setup, and we'll get into the main course later.
Yeah, yeah. So we
These
know
podcasts are
the
sort of just for the people who already like us. So I think they're
right.
down to just like us.
Yeah. So just to be sure, there's gonna be spoilers ahead next
Ooh.
week, I guess.